The state of Colorado is about to distribute approximately $35 million into our childcare industry here in Colorado. So this video you don't want to miss. This is called the Child Care Relief Grant Program, the CCRG. And the deadline to apply for this funding is January 15, 2021. So clearly this is part of some COVID relief grant money that recognized that childcare is such a critical and vulnerable industry. Colorado's stepping up, so make sure you get in on the application process. If you're not a provider in the state of Colorado, make sure you're monitoring your emails and you're looking for COVID-related emails, grant programs through your state office, through your licensing personnel, because these programs can be critical to help providers through tricky times. Even if you're doing great right now, you don't know what's around the corner. You don't know if you're going to have to quarantine a classroom for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks, or if there's going to be another lockdown. So I really encourage you to take the time to dig into these programs. And if you're not great at that, or you're too busy with other processes, find a staff member in your program that's really good at details and research and put them on there. Every time you see an email, have them sit down behind you and go through that application process. This one is pretty simple. I'll put a bunch of helpful description and links in the description below this video, so make sure you check that out as well. And if you like this topic, make sure you like the video and subscribe. Here we go. The CCRG will be distributed to all eligible providers who complete the application process by the prescribed deadlines. The maximum grant awards will be determined through a formula based primarily on the provider's license capacity. They're also going to take into consideration the provider's quality rating with Colorado Shines. Grants must be no less than $500 and no more than $35,000 per provider site. If you're a multi-owner site, you have 2 or 3 sites, you can apply and should apply for all 3. I want to stop for a second. Let's pretend that you're busy. Let's pretend that you're overwhelmed, overworked right now, and underappreciated. Stop what you're doing, complete this process, complete this application. They say it takes up to an hour per site. I was able to complete it for both our sites in under an hour. It's not very much. There's a 3-step process, so let me go through that as well. But first, let me jump into the other eligibility factors. Here we go. In order to be eligible for this program, you must be a licensed childcare provider, meaning holding a childcare license, a school-age childcare, or family child home care, or preschool license. And you must be open and operating prior to February 28, 2021. So if you're currently closed, you can still apply and qualify, but you must make sure that you're open prior to February 28, 2021. That is my understanding and interpretation of that. So the first of 3 things you need to do for the application process is update your status in the childcare status portal. And I'll put that link in the description below for you. There you're simply going to acknowledge that you're open and talk about license capacity and how many children you have, contact information, and all of that. You're updating your status with Colorado Department of Early Child Education. The second thing you're going to do is you're going to receive a survey, and they're going to ask a rate-based survey. They're going to ask you about your minimum rate and your maximum rate per age category based on children you serve. That takes about another 10 or 15 minutes is all. They're going to ask you about whether or not, your enrollment has been impacted by COVID. If it's significantly decreased or if it's increased, whatever the case might be for your site. That's a quick, simple survey. Finally, the third thing that they're going to have you do is sign an e-doc acknowledging the legalities of receiving grant money. That's it. 3 simple steps. $35 million are influxing into the state of Colorado. Finally, here's the important deadlines that you want to make sure you're aware of regarding the Child Care Relief Grant. January 15th is the deadline to update into the child care provider portal. January 18th, the department will determine the total number of eligible providers and maximum amounts per provider. January 20th, payment to providers who have completed all the application steps begin. By February 17th is the final deadline to complete any grant certification and banking forms. All right, and finally, the February 28th is going to be the last day the department will be distributing grant money to providers. So this money is going to be going out from January 20th through the end of February. This isn't down the road, it's now. So make sure you jump in there. I hope you found this information valuable, and I hope you've already applied. If you are, you probably still aren't watching this video, but if you have not, you've got to get it done this week. The deadline is January 15th to make sure you've updated your information in the portal. So I hope you're doing well. I hope your center is healthy, and your staff and your families. Thank you for what you do. Appreciate you. We'll see you in the next video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel.